man, man, Bam Bam. Psh, I called it except for the knockout. I did not see the knockout coming. Um, but to see what I said he needed to do to win, he did. And Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez is a superstar in the making. He's a force to be reckoned with in boxing. Okay? Jesse stopped Shrisuke Visai, a man who has not been stopped since, his debut. He's been stopped twice before early in his career, but known as a big, strong, super flyweight, career super flyweight, two-time world champion. And he put on a boxing clinic on that dude. He outboxed that dude, picked him apart, working the body, working the head, picking him apart. A boxing clinic. Saram Visai couldn't really get much punches in on Jesse. Kept the distance, fought him outside the pocket, boxed him, turned him, moved him, got those angles on him. Just beautiful boxing. Beautiful boxing. I mean, this kid, the sky's the limit for him. And there's no hype in this. There's no hype in this. This is just what it is. He's not a 100 and he's not a 115 pounder. This dude stepped up in weight. Now you got to understand, this dude ain't got much 12 round experience. This is his second 12 rounder. Didn't go 12 rounds. It went 8 rounds, but this is his second 12 rounder. Okay. And this wasn't so much about punching power, even though, like I said before, Jesse has some pop. Okay, he has some pop. But this is about breaking down fighters, boxing, back foot boxing. This is about boxing that you're watching. Okay? Turning your opponent, staying on the outside, you're using your jab, beautiful jab he has, working those angles, and going around your opponent, as we say, circling your opponent. And the nice thing about him is he can fight off the back foot. So when, Saram Visai is trying to walk him down and get to him, he circles out wide, didn't stay on the ropes too much, didn't keep his back on the ropes, try to keep the fight in the center of the ring, and just back foot boxing. It's just beautiful stuff, like I said before. And this is all the more reason why Canelo needs to develop his back foot boxing game. Jesse's feet is everything in this in that fight. His feet just much better than Saram Visai. Saram Visai got planks for feet. You know what I mean? And he was able to work on angles and just circumvent him. And like I said, I'm gonna rock with this kid. This kid from 108 to 115 pounds. This kid dominates. He dominates. Okay? He dominates. Now they're gonna bring him along, let him get more experience, let him get more under his belt. Listen to Robert Garcia after the fight, and he's talking about going down to 112. But from what I learned, they couldn't get fighters to face Bam Bam to start with, so they may have difficulty getting fights at 112. You may have difficulty getting fights with 112. You might have to go back up to 115. But let's see, that they think that 112 is his ideal weight. That's where he should stay at for the minute. They don't want to push him along too fast, but I mean, this kid, the sky's the limit for him. Execute the game plan very well. Basically, what I said was the game plan, and he did it. He did it. He has the skills to do it. Skills pay the bills, y'all. Skills pay the bill. And this kid, he's special. He really is. So I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about it. So he did one more than what I expected. I expected Saram Visai to survive and make it, to the 12 rounds. But he did drop him, as I expected, if he boxed him. And he's a special kid, man. He's special. I saw it in the Quadras fight, but I didn't expect him. In this fight, the thing I was worried about was him getting hit, but like they understood that the game plan was that, and he boxed him, and it was beautiful. Yeah, let me talk about the other two cards. Jessica McCaskill beat up Alma Ibarra so bad. Ibarra was like, I ain't taking no more than punches. The last thing, I think it was the third round, she caught her with a left hook. Jessica was very, very aggressive. Very aggressive. Almost clinching a lot. She got some good licks in, but Jessica was just plowing through her. Like, she was just walking through her and just throwing punches. She was setting it up with the jab and then coming with overhand rights and just a lot of shots. And she hurt Ibarra a couple times within those 3 rounds. And Ibarra said, "You know what? I had enough." And she told her corner man, she said, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done. I ain't trying to continue this fight." So she basically quit. So Jessica basically beat her into quitting. She was not going to go on. I think she probably got caught with the left hook because she got caught with 2 big shots in the fight and it hurt her really bad. But she knew how to clinch. But the left hook, she was like, you know what, this ain't worth it. And Jessica's a big, strong welterweight. It was kind of rough and rugged, sloppy-ish, but Jessica, Jessica, a big welterweight, man. She pack a punch too. Uh, but I think that Jessica need to work on her cardio. Need to work on her cardio more. Let me talk about Amygdaliev versus Ronnie Rios. Ronnie Rios put up a spirited performance. Amygdaliev hurt him to the body. I believe it was in the 12th round late. He hurt him a couple times. Amygdaliev, Amygdaliev's got heavy hands. Hurt him in I think it was the 5th or the 6th. And then he caught him again in the 12th. Hurt him pretty bad. But I didn't like what the referee did. He stopped the fight when Ronnie Rios was still live. He was still doing stuff. And the ref just stopped the fight. And I thought, man, Rios been through so much, I still fought back through that. I thought at least let the guy finish the fight. So I knew the ref was doing that to make Amygdaliev look better. Sometimes refs do that. They kind of favored it, I thought it was a nice, tough fight. I thought Ronnie Rios actually hurt Amygdaliev a couple times in the fight as well. It was a lot more back and forth than I expected. But, veteran, Ronnie Rios, is opportunity of a lifetime to get, become a unified champ. So he fought like that. That's what people don't realize. Like, Ibarra, she got beat the crap out of her. So she didn't care about undisputed no more. She didn't care to continue to fight. And some fighters, unfortunately, it's common sense. If you find your jaw just got rattled and you just realize your brain just got rattled in your head, you're like, this ain't worth it. Let me get my paycheck and get out of it. Some people are like that. Other fighters, the stakes are so high that they're like, God damn, I gotta get this undisputed title, even if I die trying to get. So you have highly motivated fighters. So, for example, Ronnie Rios was highly motivated. And from what I heard, he's always got stopped on his feet, which is not cool. So anyway, I would love to see him face Amygdaliev. Ronnie Rios, he fought everything to just get those 2 titles. He had been a title contender before. I think he had 3 losses before. This is his 4th. But it's a very spirited performance by him. And he made the fight competitive, even when, he get hurt in the fight. So kudos to Ronnie Rios. It's unfortunate that he has a TKO in the 12th round in that fight. He really doesn't deserve it, but it is what it is. So all the favorites won, but I thought that Amygdaliev actually had the tougher fight. Bam Bam actually fought. This kid could still stay at 115, and I'm certain he can fight like a Chocolatito or a Estrada, but he is not really a 115 pounder. So it's okay, I think, for Robert Garcia to let him go down to 112, test his hands at 112. He's going to be, because of this experience at 115, 112 is going to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Um, so we'll see what the future holds for him. He started the race very, very well. He got an opportunity of a lifetime. They jumped at it because obviously Robert Garcia would know what Bam Bam can do. I've heard about Bam Bam for a while though. I've been hearing about him. That's a name that I've been hearing about, and man, this dude. When I actually watched him, I said, yeah, this kid's special, and now it's just confirmed. So uh, we'll see how far Bam Bam goes, man, with his career. What's next for him? Looks like if he doesn't go down to 112 and get a fight at 112, he may have to stay at 115 and fight at 115 and fill out at 115. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what's in store for him as the future continues. Um, but that's a superstar in the making. That's like how Pitbull became a superstar fighting Tank. These guys are superstars in the making, and just looking forward to seeing what he does next. Jessica McCaskill, I guess she just got a contender out the way. I don't know what's next for her. If it might be a rematch with Katie Taylor or what, we'll see. And then, of course, Amagdaliev. Now, a lot of people are thinking, well, Akhmadaliev is on the Zone, and Stephen Fulton is on Showtime. So that means that Fulton won't be able to face Akhmadaliev. That's not true. They're gonna make that fight happen, and Stephen Fulton wants that fight. So, Al Heyman, I'm sure, is gonna find a way to make that fight happen. Trust me, that fight is gonna happen, and we're gonna have an undisputed champion. Akhmadaliev's got power and everything, but I'm not truly sold on Akhmadaliev. I'm not very impressed with him. Got good pedigree and everything, got good power, but I think they and their team is not. I don't think they're ready for Fulton. But hey, I say don't back down for nothing. Akhmadaliev should take that fight with Fulton when it's presented instead of running away. Should take the fight and test his skills. And if you're not ready, well, no problem. You come back another day and you try to perfect your craft. Just like Canelo. Canelo wasn't ready for Bevo. Come back and perfect your craft. Now, Canelo's making excuses about injuries and all of that stuff. I don't want to hear that, Canelo. I don't want to hear that. You know why you wasn't ready for that fight. And it has nothing to do with injuries. It has to do with your cardio. Bevo exposed that you was cutting corners. So, that rematch with Bevo that you want so badly, you got to understand, you got to improve your boxing, and you got to add a veteran fighter who knows slick boxing to your team. If you don't do these processes, you're not going to beat Bevo. You're not going to beat him. You have to have that foot cardio. You have to use back foot boxing to beat. You have to beat a Dimitri Bivol, because he's a master at using his feet. So if you're not into that and you don't improve that aspect of your boxing, forget about it. You're not going to be an unbeatable force. You got a lot of skills. You got a lot of ability. You don't have is the conditioning that is necessary to go high-paced boxing relentlessly. Like I said before, guys like Mayweather, Mayweather's feet is incredible. He got incredible feet, period. Roy got incredible feet. Floyd got incredible feet. But the thing with Floyd is, the difference between Floyd and Roy was Roy used a lot of his feet and his timing versus keeping the fundamentals, being able to clinch, fight on the inside, get those angles. Floyd wasn't the biggest inside fighter either, but he had great angles, so he had great defense. Once he's on the inside, it's hard to hit him because he's high-low, so you have to dip really low, and he catch a shot down here, and when you come at a shot up here, it's ridden by his shoulders and shit. So how he positioned on the inside was perfect, and then he steals his shots, and then he could work his shots on the inside. So Floyd was a Floyd had his defense. The difference between Roy and Floyd is the defense. You know, and we're gonna talk about Floyd Mayweather one day. We're gonna really talk about him. You know, because a lot of people starting to realize how good Floyd was, and what Floyd was doing was just incredible. I mean, just incredible. Now we got youngers that watch Floyd coming up, so they incredible too. You know, this youngster right here under Robert Garcia's gym, you know, understands defense, understands distance, understands how to use what you do. The skills pay the bills. Skills. Let me say that again. Skills pay the bills. Let me say, because I'm gonna say 3 times. Skills pay the bills, and you have to understand what that means. Skill is not something you born with. You know, they like to say this is a talented fighter and that's a talented fighter. Listen, a well-schooled fighter, I'll take any day over a talented fighter. This kid here, what's his name? Bam Bam is a skilled fighter. There is a difference between skills and talent and God gifting. Okay? Bam Bam is a skilled fighter. He ain't just talented. I hate hearing that word talented thrown around. You know, talented means, yo, dude, you know, is able to do things, yes, and some of the things he does, he wasn't really taught by anybody. That's talented. Okay? God gifted is born with certain attributes, whether it's high bone density, quick twitch muscles, natural strength. You know, that's God gifting. Dimensions. You may be long or short, whatever, that work to your advantage in boxing. Thick neck, genetics, whatever. But when we talk about talented, we're really talking about, when you say a person's talented or naturally talented, what you're talking about is they never really learn or acquire certain fundamental principles, and just sort of naturally they are given to doing certain things well. Okay? Skilled and skills are taught. Let me say it again. Skills are taught. Okay? Bam Bam didn't just wake up in the morning with natural talent and he was just able to do these things, or he figured out these things on his own. No. He was taught, and taught very well. That is why they know that Bam beat these guys, because they know what he has been taught and how he received what he was taught, how he applies what he has taught, and how he's developing what he has taught. So when we say skills pay the bills, we're talking about being taught a certain teaching. The stuff that you see him moving in that ring and doing is something he's been taught, and he took it and he sharpened it up. Okay? So when we say skills pay the bill, understand, no fighter in boxing, I'm going to say this again, no skilled fighter in boxing, let me say that one more time. No skilled fighter in boxing is proud. You can't be proud and skilled. You must be in boxing teachable. You must be teachable. You can't be a know-it-all. You have to learn and absorb like a sponge. Devin Haney's a skilled fighter. Shakur Stevenson is a skilled fighter. You have to be willing to be taught. You have to be humble. You have to be teachable in boxing. So this is why Floyd Mayweather was so confident, because he worked very hard at what he was taught. Very hard. He obeyed the game plan of his teacher or trainer, Roger Mayweather. Roger Mayweather never said too much. But Roger would tell Floyd what he needed to do to win the fight. Like, I was watching recently the Oscar De La Hoya Floyd Mayweather fight, which was not close. Wasn't close at all. And Roger Mayweather says in the corner to Floyd Mayweather, he says, I think it was the 8th round, thereabouts, he was saying, All right. You're doing well. You're doing well, but you need to pick it up a little bit more. That's all he said to Floyd. Pick it up a little bit more. But Floyd understood what he was saying, and he did it. He went in the round, and in round number 9, picked it up. Took the fight a little bit to Oscar, pushed Oscar back. Okay, so you know, with the skills that you have, and again, it's the feints, coming off the feints to go to the inside. That boxing by Bam. It's just beautiful boxing. And I always said to people, now we've seen Bam do back foot boxing. Akhmadaliev, not so much. He was walking down the other guy. The other guy was kind of boxing him, so that's why the other guy was in the fight so much. And but Akhmadaliev, he can box off the back foot as well. With Jessica McCaskill, she was front foot heavy. The other girl was back foot boxing, and she was able to pick off 1 or 2 shots on Jessica, because Jessica was coming in a little bit. Even though she was coming in off the stick, she was a bit wild. But the point is, back foot boxing is so underappreciated in the sport. They call it running. It ain't running. It ain't running. Okay? That's not running. And what Floyd did, and what these young fighters are doing, is not called running. Alright? It's about systematically breaking down a fighter. And Robert Garcia emphasized, as well as his son, Peter, that they knew they wasn't going to go in there and trade with this kid. And they wasn't going to stand directly in front of him. They were always going to be off to an angle. And that's boxing for you. And Jessie could do those things. So that's why that's not even Jessie's weight class, you know what I mean? And he was able to do what he did because they know what they taught him. They know what he's capable of because they know what they taught him. Alright? So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. How much you need. You guys have a good night. I know some of you guys are going to come through in the comment section tomorrow, and we can talk a little bit more about Bam's successful win. Congratulations to him once again. Congratulations to all the people. DAZN, beautiful card. Particularly enjoyed Bam's performance against Sirron Visai. Ronnie Rios' performance. Ronnie Rios put on an exceptional performance. And unfortunately for him, he got the referee stopped the fight. But I honestly feel that the referee should not have stopped that fight. But that's just my personal opinion. I feel like that job Ronnie Rios and sort of took away. I don't like when referees do that, because you're taking away a guy's bread, his paycheck, by making him get stopped instead of him making the distance, which he should have had in that fight. He should at least have had the referee should have had the common decency to let the guy finish the fight. The referee, you gotta understand, you messing with people bread and butter, man. You can't be calling things wrong just because the A side need to get a TKO or something. I don't believe that MJ deserved that TKO. He should have earned it, and Rios was making him earn that, and the referee never allowed Rios to make him earn that. If he has to put some other punches together and stop him, let it happen. So I didn't really appreciate what the referee did. And Rios was kind of protesting it because he had suffered so much in the fight. And he was still fighting back. He was still a live dog in that fight. So it is what it is. I've seen that once or twice in certain fights, and I never appreciated it. So that's what I got for y'all. I'm what you need. I'm going to catch you guys later. I just thought I'd cover these fights tonight. You guys can always watch this at another time. But what a good night of fights. I'm going to catch you guys later. I'm what you need. Peace.